Hi there, and welcome to another video. Today I wanted to do a little vlog. It's Friday, January 9th, and I'm looking to get a handful of things accomplished today. So the morning is when I get the bulk of my editorial work done for the day, though sometimes I'll come back to it in the evening after I've had a break in the afternoon. This morning I'm working on a proofreading project for a novel. Proofreading is such meticulous work, so I can only do it for a few hours at a time before needing a break to rest and reset my eyes and brain. But the content is usually pretty fun to read, and I enjoy finding errors and discrepancies to make whatever piece I'm working on perfect and publishing ready. To keep myself organized and on track, I like to use a weekly planner. This year I decided to try out the Traveler's Notebook Planner since I like to use it anyways for taking notes and writing. So far, I've been finding I really like the layout since it's got space for an agenda and for other note-taking goals each week.
So I'm back home now. You saw I went to the pottery studio. One of the things I want to work on for this year is kind of expanding my creativity. I had done a little bit of watercolor a few years ago and really loved it, but with all the moving that I've done, I left all of my watercolor supplies in the UK when I was doing my master's. So uh, when I've asked my family for some watercolor supplies for my birthday, which is up and coming in February, and I've decided to make myself a ceramic palette for that, which has been a really fun project. So I formed it a few days ago and then went into the studio today to finish like polishing it up, carving out the parts that were too thick so that it won't burst in the kiln. So it needs to dry, it'll go into mixed fire, and then when it's done I can paint it something really fun and colorful, which is really exciting. After that, went to my local library to pick up some books I needed for my personal curriculum. I'm almost done with reading the book for the first week. I've set them out into weeks, but because I'm reading full books, they're taking me longer than a week, which is totally fine. They're really interesting, and I know that since I am picking out books I've not read before and just doing research to see what would be good for the topics that I'm interested in, there might be some chapters that are more relevant to what I'm writing, because I basically picked out books that I think will be relevant for either, for in this case, the history, or like thematic things I want to come up in my books, which will be, I'll show you in a second. Anyway, first week I've been doing The Name of War by Jill Lepore. Really amazing book if you're interested in King Philip's War. The war took place between 1675 to 1676 in colonial New England, so Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, and really good in-depth look at the like English colonist viewpoint, their understanding of the world, their like fears, and especially when it came to their interactions with all the native peoples in America, and then as well the like Native American tribes, all the different tribes, their perspectives on it, their interactions with each other. So it's been really, really interesting, really insightful, since my story is taking place right in the middle of it. So yeah, almost done with this one. And then at the library I picked up for the next week. The next week I'm interested in the character of Satan, because my characters are going to be Puritan, and the Puritan perspective, a lot of the Puritan perspective of Native Americans were, oh, they're demonic, they're satanic, they're possessed, very like othering, placing a lot of negative connotation and like, oh, they're evil. So I wanted to look at the concept of Satan and the evolution of Satan's character, the idea of him as he appears in the Bible, which is kind of what the origin of Satan is going to be looking at, and then up through like early Christianity. So I also have The Devil. So this one's by Jeffrey Burton Russell, and then this one's by Elaine Pagels. So yeah, really excited to get into this topic. Going to be really relevant for writing in the headspace of these characters who can't think outside of this particular worldview, this very early Christian worldview, which is still very relevant today. So yeah, I'm going to do a little bit of writing. I have my notes pulled up on my laptop in front of me, but when I've noticed that I do a lot better writing when I'm writing out my initial drafts to write in a physical notebook, because what ends up happening is that when I write on my computer, I try to make it sound as perfect and polished as possible. I like to edit as I write when I write on the computer, and I don't do that as much in my journal, which means I can really just get the words out on the page and I'm not bogged down by making it sound pretty. I can worry about that later. Yeah, so that's my update. I'm curious to see how many words I write today and how long it takes me to write. So I'll get back to you with an update on that. Good morning. It is the next day. So I ended up writing about half an hour last night, then took a shower, did some more proofreading work, and ended up reading some stuff for my personal curriculum. But I just typed up what I wrote for the session, which was about half an hour, and I wrote about 680 words. So that's great. Awesome. Thank you for watching. And if you enjoy the more vlog style videos, please give this one a like, and I'll be sure to do some more. Alright, till next time. Bye!